Alright, so this is going to be question number 2 on what I think is going to pop up on the ASVAB. This one's a little bit complicated to explain. I really hope that you kind of already know the basics of what's going on here. But what you want to do is you got to find x. And shit, man, I really don't know how to explain it too well. What's going on here is that what you want to do is you want to take this side and this side and find what 4 is able to be divided by and find what 12 is able to be divided by. So for example, if I want 4, it's going to be either 1 and 4 or 2 and 2, because 1 times 4 is 4 and 2 times 2 is 2. And for 12, it can be either 12 and 1, 6 and 2, or 4 and 3, because if you multiply them, they will all equals 12. Alright, so I'm going to rewrite those real quick. So 4 and 1, 2 and 2, those are for 4. And for 12, you're going to find 12 and 1, 6 and 2, 4 and 3, and those are for 12. So what we're going to do here is we're going to mix and match so that this plus or minus this will end up as -2. Oh, and when I said this, I meant this plus or minus this is going to end up being -2, in case you couldn't see my cursor. So what we're going to do here is we're going to stack with the numbers from either here and here vertically. So one possibility will be 1 and 4, or 4 and 1. I like to have it so that the lower number is on top and the higher number is on bottom, but it's just personal preference. I just find it easier to do it that way. And 1 and 12. What you're going to do here is it's going to cross over. And since it's a -12, you're going to have to add a negative to one of these numbers, either the top or the bottom. So for example, for this one, I'm going to add it to the top. So what's going to happen with these numbers is that it's going to have to cross. So for example, 1 and 12 and 4 and 1. So with the cross numbers, you're going to multiply them together. So for this, it's going to be 1 times 12. And you're going to add that by the other cross numbers, 4 and -1. So 4 times -1. And that's going to turn out to be 12 minus 4. Since 4 times -1 is a negative, so it ended up being -4. And when you add a negative, it's going to subtract. So it'd be 12 minus 4, and the answer is 8. So that is going to be incorrect. That is going to be completely incorrect. What you want to do here is this number right here, you want it to end up to be the middle number on the equation. So for this, it'll be -2. You want it to be -2. So this has all been for nothing. You're gonna have to. This gets pretty tedious. You're gonna have to mix and match unless you get like really used to doing it, and you're able to do it within seconds. But Since 1 and 4 and 12 and 1 didn't work, we can use 1 and 4 and 6 and 2. And I can already tell this is not going to work, because if you're dude, that'd be 4 times 6 is negative 24 plus 2, and that end up being negative 22. Even if you do that, it'd be positive 22. So we're just going to disregard that. Next we can try 1 and 4 and 3 and 4. This might be a little bit more likely. Let's see what happens. I'm going to add negative to the bottom one, because that's going to end up being, oh, never mind. Let's add it to the top one. So 4 times negative 3 is going to be negative 12, plus 1 times 4 is going to be 4. That's going to end up being negative 8. Wrong again. We can't do that. So disregard all of that. So far we've gone through 1 and 4, and all these combinations, none of them worked. So next we're going to go to 2 and 2. And we're going to start over from there on the 12 list. So we can go 2 and 2 and 1 and 12. That's going to be wrong, because 2 times 12 is 24, minus 1 times 2, negative 2. 24 minus 2 is 22, and we're looking for negative 2. Alright, 2 and 2. We're going to go to the next one, 6 times 2. So 6 and 2. Or 2 and 6. Whichever order you prefer, it doesn't matter. So cross those. We're going to want to add the negative to the multiplication that you know is going to be higher. Or, yeah, higher, because the negative 2 is a negative. So it's going to end up being 2 times negative 6 is negative 12, plus 2 times 2 is 4, and equals negative 8. That's not what we want either. So the only combination we've got left is 2 and 2 and 4 and 3. Alright, this is definitely it. We're going to add the negative to the top one. Once again, you can add it to the top or the bottom one. Each will be a different combination, but for this I'm adding it to the higher multiplication, the higher cross multiplication, because the answer is going to be a negative. So what's going to happen here is 2 times negative 4 is negative 8, plus 2 times 3 is 6, and the answer is negative 2. So that is what we want, negative 2. That's what we wanted. Of course, the last fucking combination that we try is the correct one. That sucks. It's fucking gay. It's gonna happen. Sometimes it's gonna be your first choice, sometimes it's gonna be your last choice. You're just gonna have to predict, like, quickly do the equations in your head, the multiplication shit, to estimate which one's like gonna be the most likely to be correct. So what we do from here is, since that's correct, we can disregard all of this crap. Since we're done using that, we're gonna take this, and we're going to turn it into something a lot more complicated. So we're going to take this first number, 2, and we're going to add an x to it, and since it's a negative 4, we're going to add 2x minus 4. And then 2 and 3, so 2x plus 3. So what we do from here is, alright, so what we want to do here is you want to find what makes each of these 0. Because if either one of these becomes 0, either one of these things inside the caption marks is 0, then the answer is going to end up being 0, and you want to find 0. Actually, you know what? Okay, never mind. The answer to this is right here. This is the answer to the question, because it says factor completely. But what it's often going to tell you to do is find x. if 4x squared minus 2x, but fuck it. Alright, find x. Find x if 4x minus 2x minus 12. We're going to add the 2 by hand here. Find x if 4x squared minus 2x minus 12. If you haven't caught that, it's the same shit as here. It's just a different question. So I have personally never come across factor completely for this. Usually you're going to find x if 4x squared minus 2x minus 12 is 0. So if it says find x if this equals 0, you're going to continue from here, and you're going to want to find what turns each of these into 0. So for example, for this box, it's going to be 2x minus 4 equals 0. You're going to carry it over. You're going to carry the 4 over, turning into a positive. So it's going to be 2x equals 4. And you're going to divide the left side by 2, therefore dividing the right side by 2, so it end up being 2. So for the left side, x equals 2. For the right side, it's going to be 2x plus 3 equals 0. You want to find what turns it into 0, so you're going to add equals 0. So 2x, you subtract the left side by 3, therefore subtracting the right side by 3, or you can just say you carried over and turn negative. That's what I do. You divide the left side by 2, therefore dividing the right side by 2, so x equals negative 3 over 2. So finding x, the answer is going to be x equals 2 and negative 3 over 2. So if the question asks factor completely, this right here is going to be an answer, this up top. If it says find x if this equals 0, then this will be the answer.